Welcome, friends. There are three ships that are insanely good in this game. Not just saying that there are only three ships that are good, and I'm not saying these three ships make the best fleet in the game. No, what I'm saying is there are three ships that pop out above the rest as ships that can go in any fleet and are ships that you shouldn't sleep on. They are ships that a lot of you probably have, but may not be using in different fleets that you are working with. And so I wanted to bring it up to you guys. I want to talk to you guys about because I know fleets is a sore point for a lot of players, and just having something that alleviates that soreness just a bit can help a ton. Obviously, I have a lot of the toys, but I still use these ships a ton, just all the time. Well, most of the time, though, I do use them in their appropriate fleets, although one of them does not have an appropriate fleet, and so use it as you will. So the first one we're going to talk about is, in general, the most important one for most people, the houndstooth. I know a lot of you know about this ship. I know a lot of you use this ship. Basically, it's a tank that can taunt, and it stays taunting just like Bosk does, as long as the enemy has this debuff, you inflict breach on them. They have breach, you'll always be taunting as long as an enemy has breach, even if they try to dispel your taunt. So it's an amazing ship, can plug into any fleet, can take the place of any tank in any fleet. Honestly, this ship was the meta for a long time, where this was the hidden gem of any fleet. Nowadays, it has its own home among Executor, and that's fine. It has its own home, and it's great in its own home, but until you get Executor, it is perfect to plug into any new fleet that you have. I used this with my Negotiator while I waited to get my BTLB's Y-Wing up and running. I used this with my Finalizer before I got my Enchilada running. It's just an amazing tank. It can fit with any fleet. And the fact that whenever an ally is attacked, he gains turn meter when he's not taunting, meaning that he'll get his taunt faster, is just so incredibly helpful. He is an amazing overall ship. Definitely worth the relic on the character, definitely worth the relic on the ship. Overall, amazing ship. Would 100% suggest as like the top of the peak, the absolute pinnacle of plug and play viability for ships. The next one is one that a lot of us have as well, just because of the Lightspeed bundles. This was a one that wasn't, a lot of people didn't have it originally, just because it's out of the way. It's not something that's part of any farm originally, and so a lot of people were sleeping on this. Now a lot of us have it. Make sure that you are using it. The fact that this can be a reinforcement in any of your fleets and can come in, dispel all target lock, and then prevent target lock. That's what chaff does, is it prevents target lock on all allies for as long as they have chaff. And then on top of that, it dispels all buffs on enemies. Amazing reinforcement ability that fits in any team whatsoever. It also has turn meter baked into the kit for your allies. It also has a buff dispel, and it has buff immunity, which is super good going against houndstooth and things like it. Plus it also has chaff reusable. You can use this ability and you'll get buff immunity on the enemy, and you'll also get chaff again, which honestly is one of the best things in the world. Target lock is a big thing among ships, and it especially helps when you're going up against Executor. You should be using this with your Finalizer. You should be using this if you're using your Radis against it. You should be using it against Executor there. It stunts the ultimate for Executor hardcore to use this ship. I use it in my Executor mirror matches. Honestly, this ship can plug into any fleet as a reinforcement. Always bring it in on the battle that you're struggling with the most, where you're like, ooh, I don't know if my fleet's going to win that. Bring this as a reinforcement. It'll allow you to take a breather. It will allow you to, get around a taunt. It's super, super versatile. It fits in any fleet. So do not sleep on your Ebon Hawk. The last one is one that Arnold actually brought up, I think yesterday or today, whenever his last video was. I don't have it very high myself, but right here, Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter. I have a Gear 11 7-star Plo Koon. That's kind of worthless, honestly. It's just like, it's okay. But it doesn't matter. This goes in so many fleets. This is what allows you to actually have a win rate against Malevolence with Finalizer. This can fit in any fleet because this reinforcement ability, dispel all debuffs off of all allies, not Galactic Republic, all allies, and they recover 40% health and 40% protection. amazing heals, amazing getting rid of the debuffs, that gets rid of all your buzz droids, everything. And so this is such an amazing ship in so many different fleets. I would suggest going out of your way and grabbing this and getting it at least to 5-star just to have this reinforcement ability, even if it just comes out and dies. Like, I've used this in a Leviathan fight where I literally, with Leviathan, your second reinforcement usually just dies off the gate when you bring it in, if you are able to bring it in. Doesn't matter. You bring this ship in, it dispels all debuffs, it gives you 40% health and protection. You just got all the value you needed out of this. Overall, it's a great ship to have in general, just being able to dispel debuffs and granting them taunt. It's going to be amazing, but just that reinforcement ability makes it so it can fit in so many fleets and help you counter so many fleets. So I would highly suggest taking a second and getting this ship at least to 5 stars, getting yourself a Plo Koon that's at least unlocked, because even just having it as a reinforcement, this is the one that I see slept on the most. This ship should be in everyone's roster at least 5 stars, because it is crazy good. Do not sleep on this. You could have a high relic Plo Koon with it if you want, but honestly, I get all of what I need out of it at this lower tier of gameplay that I'm at, where I'm kind of in that mid-game area, just with a Gear 11 with 7 stars. That's no Chirotechs involved, that's nothing. I've been able to counter Leviathan with this ship. Like, don't sleep on it. It's amazing. And we do have one honorable mention. I do want to honorable mention this one because it's one of my favorite things in fleets. It should not be this good, but it is. This is an honorable mention. It's something you saw a lot more earlier in the ship meta, but Han's Millennium Falcon is just so incredibly annoying to fight that you can fit it into any fleet and just piss people off. The reason I'm leaving it an honorable mention is because a lot of its kit does require that it's with rebels. But I do want to sidebar this and say the outmaneuver ability is so incredibly stupid and will piss off your enemies so much. And I want to give you just feed you just a little bit of a fun thing to do. Outmaneuver, the way that it reads, 25% evasion, which is cool, but can't be countered and can't be targeted if other allies are present. This includes unpiloted ships. Even with ships that say they can ignore taunts from unpiloted ships, it includes that. And so you'll always have this ship that they can't get around and get to. It's just sitting there, which includes Malevolence. Malevolence has a lot of unpiloted ships it likes to spawn. And so if you have this as your first reinforcement, comes into play, and all of a sudden they have to kill every single vulture droid before they're able to kill the final ship of Millennium Falcon. Because usually, Malevolence, you're trying to kill all the ships that are the real ships and none of the summoned allies, and then all the summoned allies disappear. But with this on the fleet, you're just like, you just slide it in there, and all of a sudden they have to kill the entire field before they can wipe you. And I have gotten some really cheeky wins in Grand Arena out of this. It's one of my favorite tricks if you don't have a rebel fleet lying around. And so it is an honorable mention, and I did want to bring it up. But overall, honestly, do not sleep on your fleets in general. But the fact that we have basically a buff dispelling thing that allows you to help you taunt with Plo Koon, gives you, a cleanse, my bad, not buff dispelling, but a cleanse plus healing plus the ability to make something taunt. Amazing on any fleet, wherever you put them. Obviously, he's best with the Galactic Republic, but you can plug him wherever you need. With Ebon Hawk, you have buff dispels, buff immunity, you have chaff to prevent target lock. So many good things on the Ebon Hawk. And then, always the ultimate tank. The houndstooth will get you through so much. The houndstooth has that, undispellable taunt, basically, and so the only way to really get rid of it is buff immunity, or to be able to some way cleanse all of your breach, which, honestly, a lot of fleets don't have that cleanse, and that's why it's so important to have that Plo Koon in your reinforcement. So, don't sleep on these ships. Obviously, entire fleets will always beat a single ship, but the fact that we have plug-and-play ships should not be slept on. So take the time to get Plo Koon. Doesn't take you long. Only takes you a little bit of farming. Honestly, you can do it basically entirely from stores. Don't sleep on Plo Koon. If you're a low-range gamer where you're like, I didn't buy any of the Lightspeed bundles, I'm struggling, I need help in fleets, get yourself a houndstooth as soon as you can. Doesn't matter what your farming path is, a houndstooth will help with your fleets. It is what keeps you alive, so you can actually kill the fleet you're going against. So get yourself a houndstooth, get yourself an ebonhawk, get yourself a Plo Koon. Even if you're just to get the ebonhawk and the Plo Koon for the enter the battlefield abilities, it's still going to be insanely helpful for you. Hopefully this helps you. Sorry, my brain's fuzzy today apparently. Hopefully this helps you kind of get an idea of where you can plug these ships in your roster. Hopefully it helps you kind of understand, oh, there is hope in fleets, because sometimes you feel like there's not hope, and there is. And so hopefully this helps you kind of get a grip and be like, okay, if I can get this ship, then this fleet that's barely not making it can get a little boost of health at some point, and they can start continuing that counter and finish up a battle. So honestly, these 3 ships have really made my roster be okay in so many ways, because I've had partially done fleets that I haven't been able to do anything with, and these ships just plug that hole, and I love them so much. So hopefully that helps you guys. If you like this kind of content, please do subscribe. We are trying to, you know, hit that 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. As soon as we do, we're looking at a Relic 9 Bodhi. I'm not overly excited for that, but we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.